Hello and welcome to a episode of the Euro vlog for November 2022. Small disclaimer, this video may well contain triggers as we do talk about suicide, anxiety, depression, as well as things like substance abuse and a range of mental health difficulties that people face every day. So please, if you do go into this, do just be aware and make sure you look after yourself before and after, especially if that means talking to someone else and getting their support. Now, onto the vlog. Good morning and welcome back to another Movember vlog. You are right, the vlog for November 2022. I am Ryan, which I really hope you guys know by now, if you're not just new to the series. And this is Liam. Liam is one of my beard struggle brothers, and he has joined us today, and we're going to talk around the subject of suicide. Now, this is a trigger warning for anyone who may not wish to go any further. It's nothing shameful if you can't. But it is something we are going to be discussing inside this video, so please do keep that in mind. And I'm going to very swiftly hand over to Liam.
How you doing, everyone? I'm from Australia, so please excuse my language. As of February, my stepbrother tragically took his life. It was sudden. There's no way about it, but it is what it is. When my parents did break up, it was messy as it can be. Long story short, my mother wasn't faithful. My father did all he could. So unfortunately, when my parents did split up, they made it a dichotomy of you're either on your mum's side or your dad's side. I chose my mum's side because she was, for some reason, like she was always there for me, like and all that. But it took me maturing as an adult to realize what she's done and how not right it is, that I end up, quitting the whole dichotomy thing. Like, I have a mum, I have a dad. It is like that. So, and at a point, my dad got remarried to a lovely woman named Jo. And when that happened, they have two stepbrothers. Sorry. The stepbrother we're talking about is the one who walked Jo down the aisle. Sorry. And it was a beautiful day. Unfortunately, my dad and I have had multiple moments in our life where we've, gone our separate ways, had an argument, got messy, and didn't want to talk to one another. But it is what it is. We always come back to each other. We always end up, rekindling our relationship and moving forward. So I'm moving a bit further forward now. The day we found out about my stepbrother, I'm not going to call him stepbrother, I'm just going to refer to him as a brother from now on, that my brother took his life. It was sudden. There's no suicides that aren't sudden. No one goes and, you don't go in a week's time, I'm going to do it and things like that. Yeah, like he was a troubled soul. On the day that he did it, the night before he did it, he downed 14 double Jack and Cokes. So he was 100% not himself. He wasn't in his right mind at all. But that's the thing about substance abuse, because he did also have substance abuse problems. He was on meth a few times, and obviously if you're not going to put healthy things into your body, you're not going to get healthy things out. You're going to put alcohol in your body in moderation, it's fine. But if you get lost in alcohol, that's when it's not too good. But what matters and when you're dealing with suicide is surrounding yourself with people that care, people that love you, people that want to support you and, watch you grow, not want to bury you and, not let you strive and move towards your goals. So we had my my brother's funeral, and it was a beautiful service. One of my dreams in life were, as a kid, I always asked, because I had two sisters at home, and I was always like, I've always wanted a brother. So the day I found out that my brother had taken his life, it was a matter of like, I had a brother. I had a brother, and now he's gone. I could have gotten to know him. I could have gotten to know a brother and have that brotherly bond. And I was like distraught. Like I didn't really know him, but I had lost him. But the good thing about it happening, and I know his life being gone isn't a good thing, but the good thing is I'm able to connect with my other stepbrother and have that bond there, so I don't have this regret at a later date in my life. And that's the thing about suicide. Like, you can either, be quiet about it, suffer alone and not talk, or you can go up to your friends and be like, hey mate, I'm not doing too well. And if they are a good friend, they're going to keep coming back to you and being like, hey, how are you doing? Or are you all right? It's a matter of surrounding yourself with friends that matter and people that matter. Right? You can only grow if you surround yourself with people that are going to help you grow. Because if you're planting yourself in shit soil, you're not going to grow. But that's the thing with suicide. You got suicide and you got suicidal thoughts. They're two very different things. If you're suicidal, talk to someone. But if you're having suicidal thoughts, personally, my battle with suicidal thoughts is a weekly thing. But it's a matter of, are you going to do it, or are you just thinking about it? Like, my battle with suicidal thoughts is, personally, I don't want to die, but I don't want my life to carry on the way it is now. I want to see change. So it's sort of like a poetic way of a poetic suicide, in the way of like, I want to completely rehaul my life. But yeah,
It's definitely it's a subject that many have to look and talk about, that a lot of people shouldn't have to look and talk about.
Yeah,
and
it's just taboo. Like in personality, it's like they don't want to talk about it because it makes people uncomfortable.
but it's one of these things. There's an awful lot of aftermath that happens after someone takes their own life, in the same way that after someone dies of natural causes or of accidents, there is a shockwave that follows, that hits everyone
feels it.
But it's also one of these things that, that this person has got that far in their life that they've gone, like, this is enough, or that I cannot see this getting any better. And I think that's where it, like you said, it's around the suicide and suicidal thoughts, that if you're moving in suicidal thought towards that pathway, there is like a moment, and it's a moment of decision, where people need to feel confident and comfortable enough to go, I need to go and talk to someone now.
Yeah. And it's nothing to do with, manning up, because that's the biggest fucking toxic thing I think every man has felt. You feel like you're going to get told, oh, man up or harden up, princess. And, what are we doing when we're saying that? You're not helping your friends. You're not helping anyone saying that. You're going, here, push it a little deeper. It's not going to help anyone.
What you do is sort of embed those thoughts that you've now had from being on surface level to it just slowly become part of who you are.
Yeah.
And there's only so long you can live considering, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with my brother, it was more of a it was a substance. I think he needed the as bad of a way as is to put it, but he needed the substance of alcohol. He was 14 double Jack and Cokes deep that night, and that's when he decided to take his life. I'd say it's like, he needed that, like the alcohol for him to be that void of himself, to work up the quote unquote courage to do it. And I don't like putting it that way, but unfortunately that is the only way I can put it. My dad stopped him a few times in the past. He stopped him from gassing himself in the car. He took too many pills at one point, but my dad took him to the hospital in time. Just a few moments in life that, my dad's been married to Joe for 10 years, and, he's already had to stop 2 attempts, and the final attempt he just wasn't there for. If I'm able to say it, like the way he took his life was unfortunately a hanging. And knowing like he decided to go out in a way that is violent, it makes it a lot harder. Because when we were at the funeral, like it was an open casket, and seeing someone laying there like that, and just it no matter who you are, you can't deal with that in any sort of way. Like you just it's breathtaking in the wrong way. And knowing that he had a 15-year-old son as well. So all I'm sitting here worried about is how he is doing. Like he doesn't know me all that well, but I'm just sitting there like, I don't know what you're going through. Like this sucks. As you and I probably were like 15 years old, we weren't exactly stable, like level-headed kids. I certainly wasn't. I was a I'm listening to heavy metal, mum. Fuck you. Like I don't
the world can't stop me now, mum. Have you seen this?
Exactly. Going into mum's purse, stealing a $50 note and going to get a few lollies from the deli, and yeah, it's been wild. But like the be all and end all of it is we cannot be manning up anymore. Let's ruin the whole man up thing. Let's woman up. You know what I mean? Like let's like gather together and talk about our feelings. Do it every week. Set a day, set a time. Like I'm doing a group call. We're going to all talk about our week, and we're going to talk about our struggles that we've had this week. Because only then are we going to be surviving. Only then are we going to have moments where we're not going to be like, hey, my best friend took his life yesterday, because we're going to have our friends sitting here talking and loving each other. And that's another thing. Men need to not be afraid of giving each other a hug, good long cuddle. Be loving. There's no problem with love.
I have my friend, and he will watch this when it gets released. I know he will. His name's Will, and genuinely, like, every time we see each other, we might go out for food, we might go out for a walk, whatever it is. We always end it with a hug, and I don't think I've ever really thought more past it until maybe about 2 weeks ago. From like when we recorded this, it was the 2nd of April, so about 2 weeks ago. And when I hugged him, and it was like, this is almost like everything that I've needed this week right here. And it's weird, I hug my missus, almost every day, but it's something different. Yeah, that I'm not as a man, I'm not alone here, and that was important.
Yeah, and it's all well and good to talk about with your partner about your mental health, right? And 100% for it, but you can't just always rely on them, because in the end, like, they know you too intimately. Like, sometimes they know too much, if that sounds a bit weird. Whereas your friend is going to be sitting there and they're always going to be positive, like they're going to take things in a positive light. Like, we're going to have moments in life where, we can't talk to them about it, because sometimes they are the reason we're not doing too well.
Yeah.
And, I've had that a few times in my life. Like, if a good example of this, I personally listen to a podcast almost every day called Two Bears, One Cave. It's with two comedians, Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. And they're two absolute best friends. They're very great. They're brilliant comedians, but they're always supporting each other throughout everything. They'll be brutal against each other. They're comedians, so they're going to, take you down a notch. But they know each other's anxiety points, and they go, okay, well, you're anxious about surgery coming up. Let's sort of, why are you anxious about it? And he was like, I'm anxious about being put to sleep. And, I've been put to sleep before, and it's scary to go to, you're getting the needle in your arm and you get this mask over your face and you don't know, and you wake up.
Just breathe and count backwards and you'll wake up in
another room. Yeah. Reminds me when I'm 5 years old, falling asleep in the back of the car.
Yeah, and you wake up and you're like, how have I teleported?
Dad. Yeah, man, it's crazy. But yeah, I think that's really all I really can possibly say about the topic at the moment. But yeah,
I want to thank you for talking about it. As it's not an easy thing to talk about at all.
No.
And I think it's time, and it's always time. It's something that Movember charities does, is fund projects. And then you also got the Samaritans over here, which is a helpline. I don't know if they're worldwide or just a UK base, but
like the Samaritans, or
the Samaritans is what they're called here.
We have something called the Salvation Army.
Okay, so you've got the Salvation Army, and there's other ones depending where you are in the world, and I'm going to try and link some below, so they're going to be out there for you to go and look at. And if you are feeling those sorts of thoughts, please reach out to someone, because everyone that regardless of how aware they are of mental health or how they're against it or anything like that, would rather hear your struggles now than be standing at your funeral later.
Exactly. We'd rather hear about your struggles than read your obituary.
100%. And there's weirdly discords out there with like mental health sections in that you can literally join just to go and talk with random people. I'm in 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what is beautiful about the technological age we live in. Help is so accessible.
And I might even tag a Discord below as well. Just, and that means you don't even have to know the people. You can drop a message into this little mental health section inside the Discord, and then you guys can just talk about it. And there's always someone that responds. It's something that I love, and it seems to be someone different every time. So I'll try and drop one of those below too.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Liam, for coming onto the blog and talking about your experiences.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having me, mate.
And as for everyone else, have a safe day, evening, afternoon, wherever it is you're watching this from. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you for watching that You're Alright blog. It's been a phenomenal journey that we've been on to get this far, and we're hoping that it will long outlive the vlog series. But it's not over there. There is more to be done, and there is a donation link to the Movember charity inside the description. If you can donate, please do consider it, or even if you can just spread that link far and wide, get as many people to donate as possible, that's also fantastic. We are actively making a change, and you're part of that. So thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.